Disney is going to have a new theme park in Abu Dhabi. Okay. Well, and so 3 years ago, as Clay tweeted here, ESPN had an on-air moment where they had a moment of silence to protest Florida's quote unquote "Don't Say Gay" bill. But Disney is now going to have a theme park in a place where homosexuality is illegal, Ricky. I don't understand. I do not understand.
Well, Ron,
hypocrisy.
I do understand, because
Money?
it's all virtue. Well, yes, it's virtue signaling. Say one thing, but money is really king. Money is what really matters at the end of the day. So they'll take one policy here in the United States and they'll signal themselves to be so virtuous and so good, and then they'll go internationally and they will rake in millions, billions of dollars with positions that are absolutely antithetical to what they're telling the average American person that they believe.
What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA. All right, everybody, check it out, man. You guys knew I was going to get to this one eventually, man. Disney Abu Dhabi is about to become a thing. They announced that earlier this week, that Disney is now expanding into the Middle East. And the funny thing about that, as you know, or maybe not the funny thing, but the ironic thing, is that Disney is all about, the virtue signal, of course, when it came to the LGBTQ community. Next month, we're going to see Pride all over the place in Disney. Man, they're going to be trying to slang as much rainbow-colored merchandise as they humanly possibly can. And because of that, a lot of the cats in the alphabets, they thought that Disney was their quote-unquote ally, all right? They thought that Disney was down for the cause. Right? Disney is down for the cause. Yo, we lined up right here side by side with you guys, alphabets, and there's no way in the world we would ever expand our park to places that are not LGBTQ friendly. Well, they just found out the hard way that Disney is about that bread, man. Disney doesn't care if there's a quote unquote restrictive Middle Eastern regime that's not friendly to the LGBTQ community. Disney don't care about that. They about they money. Just like with you guys, they will say whatever they got to say and do whatever they got to do.
Tell them to bring me my money.
That's why it's called virtue signaling. We'll signal some virtues, make you guys believe, and then we'll do whatever we want to do in the end of the day, all right? So shout out to Marvin Montanaro, thatparkplace.com. Disney Abu Dhabi expansion raises eyebrows as virtue signaling American company partners with restrictive Middle Eastern regime. Yeah, so if you guys wasn't aware, Abu Dhabi is in the Middle East, all right? It's in the UAE. And in the UAE, they don't allow a lot of the stuff that we allow here in America when it comes to, the alphabet community and the rights and all of that stuff, I think there's pretty much everything is punishable by jail. The minimum, I think, is 6 months in jail. And then it could go even further than that. It could go all the way up to death, I believe. And meanwhile, Disney, you down with UAE? Yeah, you know me. Yeah, you know me. All the way out in Abu Dhabi. They don't care. They don't care. We are about to announce plans for this new theme park with Maral in Abu Dhabi, and we do not care how you feel about it. But best believe people are pissed. People are absolutely pissed.
Am I not the only one who thinks it's crazy that Disney recently, like within the last 5 years, added the inclusion key to their, basically, it's like a moral compass, whatever you want to call it, of their company, to add inclusion and then be opening a park where being gay is illegal and punishable by death? Was I not the only one who saw that this morning and kind of did a side eye?
Disney's building a park in Abu Dhabi. Let's talk about it. Let's just get it out of the way. I'm not surprised. And people keep throwing around the inclusion key, being like, well, what about the inclusion key? Except Disney has gotten less inclusive since introducing that key. We already know that they erased a trans storyline from a Disney Plus show recently. Literally, in the past year that happened? Yes, some elements of that storyline still remain in that show, but ultimately it hit you over the head with it a lot more, and that was completely erased because Disney doesn't want to lose money overseas. I think the thing that is surprising me the most today by this announcement is all of the straight ally Disney creators that were like, oh, I didn't know about the laws in Abu Dhabi, which, like, if you're truly an ally, how? And I'm really glad that these people are educating themselves now, but I think this is a big reminder that being an ally is a 24/7, 365 thing. Like, you should be educating yourselves on these things, and it shouldn't be up to queer people to have to tell you over and over and over. Like, if you want to tout around being an ally, actually put in the work. It's not just like a label you throw on yourselves to be like, I'm cool with gay people. Like, no, an actual ally is going to educate themselves.
So it was released today that Disney is opening a brand new park in Abu Dhabi. And I think it's worth noting that this is incredibly unsafe, especially for members of the LGBTQ community. And here are the reasons why. Because homosexuality is punishable by death. Okay? Gay marriage is banned. Censorship, imprisonment as punishment. Changing gender is illegal. Gender-affirming care is banned. Non-binary gender recognition is not recognized. Discrimination, there's no protections. Employment discrimination, no protections. Housing discriminations, there's no protections. And here's the thing, okay? We can still love a company, but criticize their decisions. This move makes absolutely no sense, except it's a money grab for rich people.
There you got this person, Bella, that Disney, I'm trying my fucking best not to give up on you. But why the fuck would you open up a park in Abu Dhabi where being gay and trans is illegal and women have to sometimes ask a male guardian for approval? How is that the Disney magic? I hope your partnership has a loophole for all of this, because this is bullshit. His shirts and his piss. Oh my God, man. Bella, wait, hold up. Yep, that's what I thought. Okay, just confirm something for me. But here's the problem, Bella. Here's the problem. Disney wants you to give up. You said, I'm trying my best not to give up on you. Disney's like, nah, give up. Give up now. Give up immediately. Go away. I bet you money Disney is like, just please go away. Is this the final thing that we need to do? We are doing this for the money, and we don't really care about all of these, causes that you guys have. This whole being gay and trans, they don't care. They do not care. There was some usefulness to this, but now that you have outlived your usefulness and now it's costing them, they like, outro, man, we're done with this. We are absolutely done. Bella, you can be as pissed as you want to be. All right, all them people, they can be mad. It doesn't matter. Disney has thrown you away. You were useful idiots for a time. Your value is no longer there. It's now time to get back to making money. We have a fiduciary responsibility to our shareholders, and we got to start turning all of our work and efforts into actual money for our shareholders. All right, Nelson Peltz is going to be coming for us again. Yeah, we can't keep doing this. But you can almost see where these cats was coming from, because remember, Disney was out here virtue signaling too hard. They were doing way too much. You remember with the whole parental rights and education bill out there in Florida, going to bat, against the law of Florida with Ron DeSantis. And then Bob Chapek, who was the CEO at the time, he's speaking out against it. Oh, it's restricting rights for LGBTQ youth. Yeah, well, we got to stand down, 10 toes down with our folks in the alphabet community. But the reality of the situation is they just didn't care. Beyond that, I think this was kind of a wake-up call for Disney, because, and honestly, it was the wake-up call they needed. They needed to see real ramifications for what happens when you virtue signal too close to the sun. And that's what happened, man. They lost control of Reedy Creek. You guys remember this. Disney loses control of special district to Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. The governor on Monday named 5 new members to the district's governing body. There's a new sheriff in town. Absolutely. That's what happens, man. Disney lost Reedy Creek Improvement District. They lost their own private state government. Think about that, y'all. If they never opened up their mouths about any of that shit, they would have been cool. But as soon as they lost it, I think deep in their heads, they were like, all right, that's that. That's it. We done. We lost our own state government out there in Florida where we just pretty much got to do whatever it is we wanted to do. And it was all under the radar. It was just like this mutual understanding. Nobody said nothing to them. But they got caught up in the mix. That's what happens when you stick your nose in the shit you shouldn't stick your nose into. They had no reason to do that. And because of that, they said, you know what? That's that. Let's just go ahead and do what we need to do to make some money, man. This is how it goes. You virtue signal too close to the sun, and now you see the results. All right, let's just go make bread, all right? And so, yeah, now you got Bob Iger. Where is it at? Yeah, Bob Iger and the sheiks all posed up, smiling, cheesy. Yeah, baby, time to make some money. That's right. Because you know what? You cannot cash in. You can't pay salaries and you can't build theme parks and expand. They've been trying to expand over there in Florida for years. They're about to get some expansion here. But you can't pay for that stuff with brownie points and attaboys and pats on their head from the alphabet community. That shit is not transferable into money. It doesn't turn into money. We've been saying that when it comes to all of the stuff they're doing with their movies. Right? And that's the reason why they pulled back on all of that stuff. That's why in that Win or Lose TV series, get that trans shit up out of there. It doesn't make any money. It doesn't make any money. With Inside Out 2 last year in the summer, hey man, that gay shit don't turn into money. Get it out. Get it out. What it does is it chases our American audiences away from it. And so now you see the reality of the situation. Alphabets, they never cared about you at all. But yeah, let's go ahead to the article on That Park Place and break it down. The Walt Disney Company made waves this week with its announcement of a brand new theme park and resort coming to Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates. While the project marks Disney's 7th global theme park destination, it also marks a new chapter in the company's corporate strategy, doing business in regions that impose significant restrictions on personal freedoms, expression, and dissent. This was an ironic twist from a company that spends so much time at home making sweeping changes to its domestic parks and experiences for the sake of virtue signaling. You guys remember the bruh walking around, the man with the mustache in a dress, helping little girls at the Bibbidi Boppity Boutique? You guys remember that?
So my name's Nick. I'm one of Fairy Godmother's apprentices. I'm here to shop you around and make all your selections for the day.
That's not going to happen in Abu Dhabi. I'm going to tell y'all that right now. They ain't going down in Abu Dhabi. They ain't allowing that to go down. People were pissed here. What do you think it's going to be like in Abu Dhabi? Abu Dhabi is going to be straight down the line. That will be Jasmine. That will be a female Jasmine in, traditional attire, helping the little girls with their Jasmine outfits if they're going to have it at all. But they will not be doing all of that man in the mustache shit. That ain't going down. Disney will not be funding construction or infrastructure, instead reaping benefits through licensing and royalties. To some, this may look like a smart financial move, but to others, it raises an uncomfortable question. How can a company that so frequently aligns itself with progressive messaging in the United States partner with a region known for suppressing many of those same ideals? A destination of restrictions, not rights. Abu Dhabi and the UAE more broadly maintains a range of state-enforced restrictions that directly contradict the values Disney often promotes through its domestic campaigns. Freedom of the press is virtually non-existent, with all the media tightly controlled by the state. A criticism of government officials or policies is punishable by law. There is no right to form political parties, and any form of public dissent is treated as a criminal offense. Yeah, so they don't even allow you to, I think you can hold hands, but no other public displays of affection. So even if you're a straight couple, you can't be out there smooching on your girl. You can't do it. Doesn't matter whether you LGBTQ or whether you straight. They're just very restrictive. And, I don't necessarily think it's a major issue. See, to me, this is the way I look at it. Like, if you're quote unquote all down with the DEI shit, right? Diversity, equity, inclusion. All right, well, then you got to think about, okay, you want to be inclusive when it comes to your culture and your community, but you don't want to include other people's cultures and communities. I'm a libertarian when it comes to that stuff. I'll be like, look, as long as you're not infringing on my personal rights, in my country where I live, I'm not really tripping. And if I go to your country, I'm going to try to abide by the rules that you have stated in your country. How do I look trying to go to somebody else's country and just do whatever I want to do? I don't live here. This is their rules. They have a right to set their society up the way that they would like. I feel like we should all learn from that. And, you know, I don't have a problem with Disney putting a theme park in a spot that, you know, doesn't necessarily align with 100% of my values. You know, it's like, hey, the world is a very big place. You got to allow people to live and communities to form and people just live their lives. As long as you're not infringing on my rights, I'm good. That's how I look at it, you know? But yeah, I mean, it's a different world. It's going to be a whole new world when they get out there. Look, and let me tell y'all something again about Bob Iger. Bob Iger, he don't care about you like that. He's going to get out there during Pride Month, waving little flags and doing all of that crap. The reality is it's just about the money. It's just about the money. I bet you when he was over here talking to these cats, they probably asked, hey, Bob, man, real quick, man, how you feel about all that LGBTQ stuff? Now that you're making this deal with us, how you feel about that? Bob was probably like, brother, and we just do business because I'm not really about that life, okay? I'm doing what I need to do when I'm over there. When in Rome, right? I'm over here. I'm talking business with you guys, and I'm surprised he don't have like the whole get up going. Like, yeah, let me get my little chic shit going. Look, I'm going to do exactly what you guys do because that's what Bob Iger is about. And then when I get back to the States, I'm putting on little rainbow buttons and pride stickers everywhere. And I'm saying, yeah, we're down with this cause, waving the flag. That's what Bob Iger is. He's a snake oil salesman. He'll say anything he got to say to get the deal done. It doesn't matter. But yeah, this headline on Fox News, man, this is the big takeaway in my opinion. All right, Disney's new Abu Dhabi theme park contradicts stance on Florida's so-called Don't Say Gay bill. Yeah, like all of that nonsense that they went through, all of that hand-wringing, all of that virtue signaling, all of that bending over backwards to fight Ron DeSantis. They lost Reedy Creek in the process, and then they're just going to go ahead and open up Abu Dhabi theme park anyway. Not worried whatsoever about whatever kind of laws they got going over there in that country. They don't care about you like that. They are here about the money. I hope this puts a final, you know, kind of end to all of that virtue signaling that Disney is constantly doing. Just get out there and entertain people. Stop trying to fight for various causes. You really don't believe in it. You're not about that life. You know, it's so funny, man. But anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think about this situation. Again, I just find it fascinating that Disney finally is coming to their senses and say, look, let's just get out there and make some money. Let's put behind all of this nonsense that we was out here championing this, that, and the third. They're still going to have woke nonsense in their material, okay? Because they're, again, trying to virtue signal. But maybe everybody will start seeing Disney for the company that they are and not for the company that they think they are and that they're constantly defending them. Like maybe they'll finally say, you know what? Disney don't really believe in this shit. So take everything we get from them with a grain of salt. They're not championing, even if they came out doing stuff for the, you know, for a different side of the political aisle. I wouldn't buy it. I'm like, no, they're virtue signaling to me now. And I don't buy your virtue signals. Just entertain us and you'll be fine. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Jump down in the comments. Give me your thoughts and opinions on that. And thanks for watching. See you next time.